So, my dear subjects, have you heard that sound? Oh, do I love the sound of fanfare and the way they introduce me. Ain't I something? And you know what that means. I am Jovius, directly the son of Jupiter, our main god, and Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun. I have really made it, haven't I? Although, I have to admit, it wasn't always like this. Would you believe it if I told you I was born as a son of a freed slave? My name was just Diocles, and I ruled an empire that stretched from Asia Minor to England, from the Danube River to the Nile. And I ruled it for 20 years. But then I retired, and here I am now in my palace growing cabbage. Yes, you can say I'm all green. I have a green thumb. But let's start from the beginning. I was born in one of the largest cities in the Roman Empire, in Salona. Salona was a military town full of soldiers where they awaited their next battle, and I heard many stories there. There I fell in love with the prospect of becoming a soldier, which I did. I met interesting people and I traveled the whole empire. Look, here I am now as a young soldier in a local pub.
How much do I owe you?
2 euros. Nothing for me. You soldiers are all so cheap.
Oh, no, wait. I'll tip you. I'll tip you a lot when I become the next Roman emperor.
Wait, let me see. Are you really going to tip me a lot once you become the Roman emperor?
Yeah, sure. I'll make you a princess.
A princess? Remember this promise you have made today, because you will become the emperor one day.
And when exactly am I going to become the next Roman emperor?
It is all written on your palm, once you kill a wild boar.
Once I kill a wild boar? Well, that's not that hard. It's not like having to kill a dragon or something.
After that event, what do you think I did? I went hunting for wild boar and I killed hundreds upon hundreds of them. But I didn't become the emperor. What I did become is a highly ranked commander, until one day.
I am Aura, and I'm going to tell you what happened on that day in 285. I saw it all with my own eyes. I am the niece of Numerian, the Roman emperor at that time. I was just smelling lovely roses in my garden when I heard a scream. Some pumping sounds, and then silence. I knew immediately that something was wrong. I ran to see what was happening, and what I saw terrified me. My uncle Numerian was lying on the floor, not moving, still, and Aper, his stepfather, was on top of him with a dagger in his hand. I closed my eyes. I thought he would come after me. I couldn't move. The next thing I knew was, when I opened my eyes, Diocles was strangling Aper, and Aper fell on the floor. Aper was dead as a doornail. Soldiers came and shouted, "Emperor is dead! Emperor is dead!" And then they raised Diocles' hand and shouted, "Long live the emperor! Long live the emperor!"
My name is Priska, Aurelia Nobilissima Fema. In other words, Priska, the most noble royal woman, the wife of Emperor Diocletian. I will tell you a few words about my husband, but from my own perspective. You know, he was just like any other man, full of himself, Sol Invictus, son of Jupiter. You bet. People had to fall on the floor with their whole body and worship him. He was terrified of germs, a germaphobe he was. That is why he wanted them to be down, with their heads pointed down. He even made me turn my head on one side when he spoke to me. Yeah, he was really strange. But on the other hand, he did have some good attributes. Do you know that he managed to stop inflation in the whole empire? He did not need the World Monetary Fund for that. He stopped wars as well. He was considered a bit crazy if you want, believing that he was divine. But on the other hand, he managed to bring the chaotic empire into the state of peace and prosperity. He was not greedy at all. He even shared the empire with his friends. Now that I think of it, he may have been a bit lazy. Actually, he lived the life of self-indulgence.
Yes, Mom. He was not greedy at all. So he did like nice things. He ransacked Luxor and brought all the sphinx and columns from there.
Yes, you're right. He enjoyed art, nature. He was more of a poetic soul, not really interested in warfare.
A poetic soul? Are you out of your mind, Mom? Have you forgotten what he did?
This is a tribute to him. We won't now mention his Christian persecutions, his love affairs, his illegitimate children.
And we won't mention how he was imprisoned merely for becoming Christians.
Come on, Varia, don't be such a brat. God knows if that is really the truth. I myself have already forgotten most of it. Let's get out of here before we say something that we may regret.
But
Good day to all. I'm Festus, a famous historian. You probably wonder what happened to Diocletian later on. No words, I will tell you. Oh, his wife and daughter were right. He was a great politician who brought order to the chaotic Roman Empire.
Unfortunately, yes, his wife is also right. He was the biggest persecutor of Christians. His era is called the era of martyrs. There are so many people that were killed and later became saints. Let me just name some of them. Dominus, you know him as Duje, Anastasius, Lucy, Anastasia. Really, I could go on for hours. But he was a great politician, and the Roman Empire thrived under his rule. On the 1st of May, and why is that date so important? Well, yes, of course, it is International Labor Day. Well, exactly on that date, May 1st, 305, he decided to retire. The hell with the Labor Day, he thought, so he assembled all his subjects and declared that he was going to leave the throne and go back to his native town in Dalmatia, where his beautiful retirement house was just about to be finished. You can hear from Pharaoh again, yes? The emperor has retired and come back home.
But look at my lovely cabbage, and my green gardens, and my broccoli is so big, isn't it? Ain't I lucky? Here I have found my peace in this beautiful bay in Mare Spalato.
Mighty Diocletianus, son of Jupiter and son Invictus, this has just arrived from Nicomedia.
They want me back? Are they all at sea? Totally nuts to leave my lovely cabbage and rule that dirty, riotous empire. Never, never, I say, how many years should a man work? I have reached my retiring age and now I want to enjoy all those 287 holidays we Romans have.
Gaius Valerius Aurelius Jovis Diocletianus, Sol Invictus, died peacefully in his dream in 316 at the age of 71. God rest his soul. After him, the empire would never be the same. Actually, it would not last much longer. Everything would change, wars would start, and only in 200 years it would all fall apart. It was the end of a glorious, almost divine time that would never be repeated again. And this play is a tribute to the great and glorious man.